Welcome, everybody, to Danville, California. Monte Vista High School, Alon Desai, going to be joined by Austin Oda. It's the Walnut Creek Crawdads against the California Bees. This is a non-CCL game before the Crawdads hit the road for a couple against the Santa Barbara Foresters, and then Sunday against the San Luis Obispo Blues in San Luis Obispo at Sinsheimer Park. So one more home game here before the Dads go on their southern road trip. All those games will be non-division games as well, so nothing's really going to change playoff-wise over the next 4 days for the Crawdads, including today. But the Crawdads are still going to try to get this game. Gabe Tanner is going to be the starter for the Crawdads, and they won yesterday, trying to start a new win streak are the Crawdads, and yesterday we were all treated to such a great game out of the starter, Seth Higdon, who was able to throw 6 innings, gave up a couple of runs, but more impressively, the 9 strikeouts and no walks. So it's going to be Gabe Tanner on the mound for the Crawdads this afternoon. He's 2-2 with a 5.5 ERA. This will be his 5th start. He's thrown 18 innings, 17 strikeouts, 8 walks, given up 19 hits. His last appearance was on June 29th against the Stompers. That was in Sonoma. That was an 8-3 win for the Crawdads. He threw 5 strong innings, gave up 2 earned runs, had 4 strikeouts, walked 3, faced 22. So Gabe Tanner getting ready to throw the first pitch. The home plate umpire today is Tony Marcocha. He's a man that we've seen before behind the plate, actually most recently up in Sonoma a couple of weeks ago. That's the last time we saw Tony Marcocha. And Constantine Bartlett will be out on the bases, so just 2 umpires today here in Danville because it's a non-league contest, a non-divisional contest. The batting order for the California Bees, it's Amagus Lamar leading off. He's at short. Chris Fung, the DH, batting second. Logan Azem, the first baseman, batting third. Lucas Herrera, the third baseman, batting cleanup. Tyson Wallace, the center fielder, batting fifth. Frank Sabata, the catcher, batting sixth. Connor McWard in left field, batting seventh. Keith Whitaker, the right fielder, batting eighth. DJ Giorso, the second baseman, batting ninth. And the starter for them will be Michael Wyborn. Oh, here is the first pitch to Lamar, and this misses low and in the count 1-0. First pitch at 4:10, right on the dot. 80 degrees here in Danville. This pitch in their first strike, although it was dropped by the catcher Barnhart. The count 1-1. The Bees are 6-7 coming into this game. They play over in the Golden State Baseball League, another summer league, as this is popped up behind the first base side, and finally coming on to make the catch is Corio. Maybe a little confusion there between Corio and Brome, but Corio had it all the way. And that's out number 1. The defense for the Crawdads, it's Barnhart behind the plate. Brome at first, Corio at second, who just made that play. Kai Moody over at third, the new guy. So Kai Moody played second base in his first game. Now he'll play at third. Jude Putz over at short. Ben Shoshan in left. Cummings in center. And Tears in right. Pitch here from Gabe. This is popped up foul and out of play. It's Chris Fung, the designated hitter, up to bat. Oh, Gabe Tanner looking to get above 500 this summer in the win-loss column. And this is hit on the ground over towards Jude Putz. Just makes the play right before the outfield grass, and he throws it over to first in time for out number 2. Nice job getting the glove down there by Jude and able to fire a nice strong throw over to first base. So a couple of quick outs. And here's Logan Azem. Tanner has his sign from Barnhart. And this is a slider that misses way out. The count 1-0 to the lefty Azem. Azem hitting .383. Does have a home run and 15 driven in. 1-0 pitch. This misses low and away. And the count 2-0. Crawdads carry a record of 17-8 overall, 11-6 in league play. 2-0 pitch. This is hit very high into center. Running back on it is Cummings, and now he's under it, and he has it for out number 3. So a quick 1-2-3 inning for Gabe Tanner out on the mound. Bottom of the first coming up. Crawdads will be up to bat. We'll have the lineup for you when we return here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Bottom of the first, about to get started. The Crawdads are going to be up to bat. The batting order for the home team, Walnut Creek Crawdads. It's Jack Ben Shoshan in left, leading off. The second baseman, Tyson Corio, batting second. Ryan Brome, the first baseman, batting third. Kai Moody, the third baseman, batting cleanup. Kavares Tears, the right fielder, batting fifth. Casey Cummings, the center fielder, batting sixth. Joe Barnhart, the catcher, batting seventh. Then Tejero, the designated hitter, not catching today, batting eighth. And Jude Putz, the shortstop, batting ninth. So here comes Jack Ben Shoshan, who had a very good day yesterday. That might be an understatement. His first pitch here is a strike from Michael Wyborn. Wyborn, the starter for the Bees. 6'1 lefty over at the Academy of Art University. So he's an urban knight. The 0-1 pitch from Wyborn. This misses high. He's 0-4 this summer, however, with a 10.8 ERA. He's thrown 20 innings, 23 strikeouts, 20 walks. The 1-1 pitch, and this is hit on the ground over to the left side. Making a nice diving stop is Herrera, and he throws it over to first, but not in time. Jack Ben Shoshan able to leg that out. A nice diving stop going to his left for Lucas Herrera. But that's a hit for the Crawdads. They have their first base runner of the afternoon. The defense for the Bees, Zabata catching. Azem over at first. Giorso at second. Herrera, the third baseman. Lamar, the shortstop. McWard in left. Tyson Wallace, the center fielder. And Whitaker in right. Jack Ben Shoshan with a small lead here. And the first pitch misses in to Tyson Corio. Jack Ben Shoshan, though, had a big home run. And the pitch to Corio, that's in there for a strike, just hitting the outside corner on Corio. Corio, the switch hitter, batting righty against the lefty Wyborn. And this pitch misses in, but able to get to it was Zabata. And the count 2-1. Smattering of fans here today at Monte Vista High School for this non-league game. The 2-1 pitch. This is a hard bouncer that gets into left field. There's going to be runners on first and second, so back-to-back hits for the Crawdads. And here comes Ryan Brome. Brome hitting .380, 1 home run, 25 driven in. He got number 25 yesterday. He has 25 walks to 11 strikeouts. He has been such a good hitter for the Crawdads. Well, this will be lefty against lefty, but Brome hasn't seemed to have too much trouble with that so far this summer. This pitch, and Brome promptly takes it out to right field. There's going to be runners on first, second, and third now. So 3 straight singles for the Crawdads. The bases are loaded, and here comes Kai Moody. Kai Moody, only his 5th at bat of the summer, upcoming here. Just played in the 1 game so far. Still new, still learning this team, but he is 1 for 4. He's got a chance to get his first RBI of the summer here with nobody out and the bases loaded. The pitch to Moody, he takes in, and that's called a strike by Tony Marcocha, and the count 0-1. Slight breeze coming in from right center. And Wyborn fires, and this is hit on the ground. Taylor made for 2. It's scooped up, thrown on to second for 1. The relay is high over to first. So just able to get the 1 out at second were the Bees, but a run does score for the Crawdads. It is now 1-0 Walnut Creek. Moody over at first, Corio at third, and here's Kavares Tears. Tears hitting .217, 3 home runs, 12 RBIs, but a very powerful lefty bat, and that's called a strike, and here's some screams of that ball was up. Kavares Tears now going to take a little stroll outside of the batter's box. She wasn't too enthused with that, but he's down 0-1, and this will be a good challenge for Kavares because Tears has gone after some pitches that he shouldn't have, that time trying to stay disciplined, but a strike called anyway. This bounces up to the plate, and Kai Moody's going to make it up to second on a wild pitch. Both runners in scoring position now for the Crawdads. Moody at second, Corio still at third, and the count 1-1 to Kavares Tears with 1 away here in the bottom of the first. Some big road tests coming up this weekend for the Crawdads, as time is called here by Tony Marcocha. But Santa Barbara Foresters are the first place team in the South. So they'll be playing the first place team twice, and the San Luis Obispo Blues, who are in last place in the CCL South, that's pretty surprising. They'll be playing them once. So they'll play the best and the worst of the CCL South so far. But it's kind of a logjam in the CCL South. I think everybody's still got a chance there. The Blues 5 games back. The 1-1 pitch, there's a big swing and a miss. Good breaking ball there from Wyborn, and the count 1-2. But the Arroyo Seco Saints, who the Crawdads have seen, they're 4.5 back. The Barons are 4 back. The OC Riptide are 3 back. They're on a 3-game winning streak, all in conference games. And the Caneo Oaks are in second at 1.5 back of the Foresters. So we saw the OC Riptide a while ago, and they were kind of scuffling as they came in, but looks like they've been able to turn things around. So anything can happen in the CCL, and that looks like what the Riptide are trying to do in the South Division. The 1-2 pitch, and this is hit high down the left field line. Making a run on it is McWard, but that'll land over the fence out of his grasp. And the count 1-2. In the CCL North, the Healdsburg Prune Packers still in first place. They're 11-5 in conference play. The Walnut Creek Crawdads 11-6, so 1 ahead in the loss column there. The Potters in third, 4 games back. The Solano Mudcats 4.5 games back in fourth, and the Sonoma Stompers bringing up the rear 6 games back. 1-2 pitch. Kavares hits this very high and deep into left center, and that's going to get down at the track. That's going to score 2. Kavares is going to end up on second with a 2 RBI double. Both Corio and Moody able to hit home plate, and it is now 3-0 Crawdads. Well, that's a good swing out of Kavares Tears. Been looking to gap one for a little while. And he collects RBIs 13 and 14, and that is his second double of the summer. So here is Casey Cummings, who's hitting .205. This is his 40th at-bat. Has two RBIs, that is, no home runs, as he fouls this out of play. And the count 0-1. Crawdads in the dark gray tops with the red lettering and the white pants. Cal B's wearing UC Berkeley colors, you could say, the yellow jerseys. Some blue lettering and trim, blue hats. Pitch here, Cummings lines this into left. Kavares Tears is going to round third. The throw from McWard is going to be back into the infield over to the second baseman, Giorso. And that's another RBI for the Crawdads. They lead 4-0. The third RBI of the summer for Casey Cummings. So everybody getting in on the act now. And still just one away, and the manager, Dan McDermott, is going out to the mound to have a meeting. No one warming up for the Bees, so Wyborn going to try to hunker down here and get some outs. But McDermott had a chance to talk to Dan before the game. He's the head baseball coach over at the Academy of Art University, so he's got a few urban Knights on this team. And he's talking to one right now in Wyborn. He's been the head coach over there for 9 years. Was hired by Jamie Williams, their former athletic director, who might know that name from Nebraska, played under Tom Osborne back in the day for the Cornhuskers. That was about a decade ago. For the Academy of Art, that is, where they were really trying to build up that sports program. And here's Joe Barnhart. Cummings over at first. Pitch to Barnhart, it misses, or actually a strike, and sliding in and out is Casey Cummings. A good throw there from the catcher, Zabata. Really nice throw, so that's two away. Casey Cummings thought he had a good read on it, thought he had a good jump, but good arm there from Zabata. And there's two outs. This pitch is fouled. And the count 0-2. Barnhart hitting .259. Still no home runs, no RBIs. Has walked 7 times, and he takes a breaking ball there that looked like a good pitch, but called a ball. And the count 1-2. I think Wyborn thought he was going to get Barnhart looking, so I missed just a little in. And the pitch to Barnhart, and this misses away, so the count even now, 2-2 after getting ahead. Wyborn fires 2 straight balls outside the zone. Barnhart having some new life here in the box. The 2-2 pitch. Barnhart hits this hard, high, and deep to left, and you can kiss that baby goodbye. The first home run of the summer for Joe Barnhart. He got every bit of that ball. It is now 5-0. Joe Barnhart with a huge blast. It could have been for 2 RBIs there had Casey Cummings not been gunned down at second. But that's a good sign out of Barnhart, who's hitting decently average-wise, but was still looking for some run production, and now he has some. So here is Zach Tejero, who's usually a catcher for the Crawdads, but today he's the designated hitter. It's a 5-run ball game, 5-0 here in the bottom of the first, with 2 away. The first pitch to Tejero. Tejero takes, and it's low, and the count 1-0. Tejero hitting .275. No home runs, 14 driven in. Does have 3 doubles, though. This pitch misses away, and the count 2-0. Tejero ahead here That's a good thing for Tejero, as he has walked only 5 times but struck out 15 times, so it's always better for him to be ahead in the count. But you could say that about any hitter, as this pitch runs in on him in the count 3-0. Tejero has a chance to get walk number 6 here, depending on what Wyborn throws, and Wyborn does hit the outside edge. And that's a strike, the count 3-1. You kind of always wonder what Tejero is going to give you up there at the plate. He is able to put the ball in play as this pitch is in there for a strike and the count full. But Tejero, very good defensive catcher. But that average is very nice to have in the bottom of the batting order as this breaking ball comes in and hits Tejero. So Tejero reaches first, and the Crawdads are about to send their 9th man to the plate this half inning. So here comes Jude Putz. Putz hitting 132, has 1 driven in, has walked 8 times, struck out 9. So we'll see what the righty Putz can do against Michael Wyborn, who's having a struggle of it so far early here. Does locate a good fastball in the inner half for strike 1, though, does Wyborn. Crawdads already with 6 hits, 5 runs. The 0-1 pitch, and trying to yank this one was Putz, but it's foul down the third base line, and the count 0-2. Nodding is the pitcher Wyborn, and the pitch, and this is hit into center, but coming in to make the catch is the center fielder Wallace for out number 3. The Crawdads send 9 men to the plate, and they end up getting 6 hits, 5 runs, and the biggest hit was the big blast from Joe Barnhart over the left field fence. So it is 5-0, top of the second coming up, and we return. Gabe Tanner going to come out for his second inning of work here on the Crawdads streaming network. Top of the second inning, back here in Danville, California, Alon to say. Here, the Crawdads ahead 5-0. Gabe Tanner still on the mound. This pitch is hit by Herrera straight over to the shortstop Putz, who goes on to first for out number 1. Gabe Tanner has now set down 4 in a row. Now that'll bring on Tyson Wallace. Wallace hitting .289. No home runs, 8 driven in. Pitch here to Wallace, and he goes to the opposite field with this. A little lazy looper, and that's going to drop fair in front of Kavara's Tears. So no play able to be made on it by either Kavara's, and too deep out there in the outfield for Corio. And that's the first hit of the day for the California Bees. So they now have their first base runner as they try to claw back into this game early here. Still very early, just the top of the second. And here's Frank Zapata. Zapata had that great throw over to second to get Casey Cummings, and he chops this one high. Putz is going to have to catch it. Tag second with his cleat, and the throw over to first not in time, so he's able to get the force at second. So fielder's choice there. And here is Connor McWard. That took a really high bounce. Putz had to wait for it. I think he made the right decision just to run over to second himself rather than risk any funny business with any kind of toss. Pitch here to McWard, misses away. McWard hitting an even 400, tied for the second highest batting average on this Bees team. Pickoff move here from Gabe, but back in safely is Frank Zapata. McWard has 2 doubles and 2 triples and 3 RBIs as he hits this very hard, but right over to Putz, who picks it and throws to first for out number 3. No, Bees able to get a hit and able to have a runner on first twice, but not able to do anything with it. It is still 5-0. Crawdads back up to bat. When we return for the bottom of the second, it's going to be the top of the lineup, 1, 2, and 3, Ben Shoshan, Corio, and Brome, here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Bottom half of the second inning, the Crawdads going to be back up to bat. Still Wyborn on the mound for the Bees. It is 5-0. It's Jack Ben Shoshan, Tyson Corio, then Ryan Brome. And Shoshan had a hit. Came around to score in the first. Jack Ben Shoshan hitting right around 270 now after collecting that last hit. 267 coming into this game, a home run and 7 RBIs. And that's a good breaking ball in there to the righty Jack Ben Shoshan. The count 0-1. A 1 pitch, and this bounces up to Zapata. And the count 1-1. 1-1 pitch, and this misses away, and the count 2-1. Elsewhere around the CCL this evening, there's going to be a few games. Sonoma going to be on the road against Healdsburg. Healdsburg, who beat them yesterday 10-3, and this pitch runs in on Jack. and misses. And the count 3 balls and a strike. But Sonoma able to have that huge win last night. Prune Packers looking for revenge. 3-1 pitch. Jack Ben Shoshan checks on this and makes contact. The second baseman, Giordaso, up with it and makes a throw over to first. Rough time there at the plate for Jack Ben Shoshan. Gets in the driver's seat, has all the leverage in the world, checks on a pitch that he doesn't love but does make contact with it, and it's in the field of play. Just a slow ground ball over to the second baseman, Giordaso, for out number 1. 4-3. That's how it's put in the book, as this pitch misses low to Tyson Corio. The OC Riptide are getting ready to play against the San Luis Obispo Blues in San Luis Obispo. It's in Shimer Park. The 1-0 pitch, and that's in there. The count 1-1, and then at 6:05 at Jackie Robinson Memorial Field, just across the parking lot from the Rose Bowl, as this pitch is hit to the opposite side down the right field line. Is that going to drop fair? It is called fair. Tyson Corio rounds first, and he'll be at second with a stand-up double. Looked like that ball was going to loop foul, but just stayed fair by a couple of inches. And Corio now 2 for 2. Crawdads already with 7 hits now. But across the way from the Rose Bowl, that's where the Santa Barbara Foresters, who are in first place in the South, are going to take on the Arroyo Seco Saints. And once again, that game at 6:05. This pitch is chopped, foul down the first base line. A count 0-1. There's one other non-league game that's going to happen this evening. 6:35 p.m. at McBean Stadium up in Lincoln. This pitch hits the outside black, and the count 0-2. That's the West Coast Kings. They're visiting the Lincoln Potters. Corio with his lead off of second. A lot of room to mess with up the middle there, as this pitch is called a ball. It was a good breaking ball, but not able to hit the zone. And the count 1-2, but Brome has no issues going back up the middle. He gets a pitch he likes. The 1-2 pitch to Brome, and he pokes at this, but foul out of play. Count stays 1-2. Brome has been one of the toughest outs, not just on the Crawdads, but in all of the CCL. With those 25 walks and 11 strikeouts. The 1-2 pitch, and he fights this off, and that's just what Ryan Brome does. We always talked about it on the broadcast, but he'll just fight and grind up there and really kind of erode the stamina of the pitcher during the at-bat that he's in. And the pitcher will make a mistake, and Brome usually capitalizes. A very frustrating player to pitch against, I'm sure. The 1-2 pitch, Corio takes off, and this is lined into center. That's going to drop. Corio going to make his way home from third. So having to let it drop there was Wallace, and it is now 6-0 Crawdads. Brome with an RBI single. Thought Wallace maybe had a chance to come in and try to make a diving play, but he thought better of that and let it bounce. Just wanted to keep Brome to a single. And here's Kai Moody. 6-0 already here in the bottom of the second, just one away. Wyborn delivers and misses here in the count 1-0 to Kai Moody. Brome now with 26 driven in. 2 for 2 today. And Kai hits this into center. That's going to drop. So back-to-back singles for the Crawdads, and almost a repeat of what happened in the bottom of the first for Walnut Creek. Runners on first and second. Kai Moody reaching base for the second time today, but he's now 1 for 2 as a fielder's choice in the first. Here comes Kavares Tears, who had a 2 RBI double in the first. Hit that very deep, ended up bouncing at the warning track. He had one that he just smacked today in BP. Ended up just short of the wall. And you heard him say that ball was dead. First pitch here. There's a breaking ball in there for a strike. Good slider. Count 0-1. Wyborn has the sign, and now time is called here. Granting it is Tony Marcocha behind home plate. Everybody's going to reset here. Lefty against lefty. Wyborn has the signal, looks back to second, and delivers the 0-1 pitch. This is hit on the ground through the hole on the right side, and that's going to bring home 1 run. No, it's not. Oh, cut off second is Kai Moody, and they're just going to tag him out. Moody's going to try to run in a pickle here, but he's now tagged out. Looking for a double play was Herrera over at third, but staying parked at third was Tyson Corio. Kind of a weird play there. Looked like the Crawdads were about to get a run, but a good job getting it back in by the outfield of the Bees. Now the Crawdads could have had the bases loaded, but now there's 2 away with runners on the corners. Pitch here is fouled out of play. Now, Corio's already come around to score. He was driven in by Ryan Brome, who now stands at third. Kai Moody just caught in a pickle there between second and third. He could not hold up at second. And the pitch. This misses away. Oh, there's a ball. Casey Cummings, 1 for 1 so far. An RBI single, a lot of 1 for 1s and 2 for 2s and 1 for 2s now in the scorebook already. This pitch misses low. Couple of balls up there. And the 2-1 pitch upcoming here from Wyborn. Here it is, and a big swing and a miss at one in the dirt, trying to golf at it was Cummings, but comes up empty in the count 2-2. The Crawdads able to get 1 so far this half inning. 2-2 pitch, runner from first goes. And he has second, and this missed, and the count full 3-2. Kavares Tears able to get himself into scoring position. 2 outs here and a payoff pitch coming to Casey Cummings. Three-two pitch. This misses low, and the bases are now full. Runners at first, second, and third. It's just been a tough start for Wyborn. Wyborn's last game that he started was against the Storm on June 30th. That was an 11-3 loss for the Bees. Through 3 1/3 innings, gave up 6 earned runs. Faced 19, walked 4, struck out 4. It's 6-0 right here. First pitch, this misses a little low. Looking for that outside corner was Wyborn, and the count 1-0. to Joe Barnhart, who's already gone deep today. One 0 pitch to Joe, and Barnhart has to lean out of the way, and the count 2-0. Barnhart collecting his first home run of the summer back in the bottom of the first. And the 2-0 pitch to Barnhart. He goes after it, hits it into right, and coming on to make the catch is the right fielder, Whitaker. For out number 3, went into a dive there and able to make it just in time. Maybe he had a tough time reading it. At first he kind of hesitated, but a good athletic play out and right by Whitaker. And they are able to limit the damage to just 1. So the Crawdads able to get 1 run. Ryan Brome able to bat in Tyson Corio with an RBI single. It is now 6-0. Top of the third when we return here on the Crawdads streaming network. Top 3, Danville, California, the Walnut Creek Crawdads with a commanding 6-0 lead over the California Bees right now. It's 8-9-1 for the Bees. Keith Whitaker, then DJ Giorso, and Amagus Lamar. This pitch is fouled over the dugout of the Bees. The count 0-1. Gabe Tanner still on the mound for the Crawdads. See how deep Gabe can go today. And the 0-1 to Whitaker, and he takes. This misses. The count 1-1. Whitaker hitting .227. No home runs, no RBIs. Just his 23rd at-bat this summer as he chops this over on the left side. Going to be taken by Putz at short. Throws over to first in time by an eyelash. Nice throw by Jude Putz, showing off the arm. So there's one away. Been a handful now of 6-3 plays. Jude Putz doing very well over at short. First pitch here to DJ, misses low on the count 1-0. This pitch bounces up to Barnhart. Count 2-0. Giorso will be a freshman over at Santa Barbara Community College. A 2-0 pitch, and he hits this very hard, but right at Jude Putz, who's Johnny on the spot, makes a nice throw over to first for out number 2. Quick reactions out there at shortstop by Jude Putz. That is the 5th time a ball is hit over to Putz, and he's able to put the runner out at first. He also had one hit at him where he had to go get the force out at second, so busy day for Jude so far. And here's Amagus Lamar. First pitch to Lamar is in there for a strike. Lamar, the best hitter, as this misses low. The best hitter for the California Bees. The count's 1-1, and I just want to make a correction here. On the lineup card, it looked like a G. It's actually a Y. It's Amias Lamar. 1-1 pitch misses in, and the count 2-1. So for the Lamars out there, I do apologize for that. Our PA announcer, Hollis Fanning, had a feeling it was a Y. I said, look at the lineup card. It's a G. This pitch misses. I count 3 balls and a strike, but Lamar hitting .436, a home run, 5 RBIs. He's got the best batting average for the Bees, and he goes after this, chops it, has to take a high bounce over to the second baseman. Corio throws over to first. Round number 3, so a 1-2-3 inning for Gabe Tanner. He's only faced 1 over the minimum so far, and it is still 6-0. Crawdads back up to bat. When we return, it's going to be 8, 9, and 1 for the Dads here on the Crawdads streaming network. Bottom of the 3rd inning, 6-0 Crawdads. Tejero up to bat. First pitch here misses low and away, and the count 1-0. Tejero was hit by a pitch back in the first. He was the penultimate man to come up to the plate in the bottom of the first for the Crawdads. This pitch misses up, and the count 2-0. It's Tejero, Putz, and Ben Shoshan, 8, 9, and 1 for the Dads. The 2-0 pitch, this misses away, and it's 3 balls, no strikes. The 3-0 pitch to Tejero, this misses in, and that's a 4-pitch walk of Zach Tejero. Tejero's now been on base twice. Once being plunked and now being walked. That'll help the on-base percentage as well for Tejero. That is his 6th walk of the summer. And here's Jude Putz, who's made some great plays over at short defensively so far. As a fastball around the belt. It's in there for a strike, and the count 0-1. The 0-1 pitch to Jude. Excuse me there. The 0-1 pitch to Putz. Man, tongue twister there for me, but that misses outside, and the count 1-1. Tejero just off of first. Wyborn takes a look over there, and the lefty fires, and Putz hits this very high. Is that going to stay in foul territory? It will for the first baseman, who's not able to fight the sun and make the catch. Tough play for Azem over there. I think he thought that ball was going to carry a lot further near the dugout of the Crawdads than it did, and then he tried to quickly reach back, and he just wasn't able to get it. The count, a ball and 2 strikes to Jude Putz. 1-2 pitch. This is a slider that misses away. And the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Crawdads in their last 10 games are 8-2. They're averaging over 7 runs a game. 2-2 pitch. This misses high. Another breaking ball, and the count runs full 3-2. At risk of walking the second straight batter is Wyborn if he can't find the zone here. Payoff pitch, and Putz goes after it, hits this very high into shallow right, right near the foul line, and making the catch is Whitaker for the out. A good job by Keith Whitaker. Make a good read on that, get to the ball quickly. And there's one away. That brings on Jack Ben Shoshan, who's 1 for 2. Bat has been lighting up for him lately ever since he came back from that finger injury. Pitch here, this misses away, and the count 1-0. Pitch, and this is ripped down the third base line, but a good pick made there by the third baseman Herrera, who just has to go to second for 1 as he did fire a high throw. They do get the force out of Tejero over at second, but not able to get a double play that would get them out of this inning. The Crawdads still have a runner on over at first. Jack Ben Shoshan. Tyson Corio up to the plate. Really nice reactions there at the hot corner by Herrera. Pitch here, this is roped into left center. That's going to get down. It's going to bang against the left field wall, and rounding third now is Tejero, and he will score. RBI double there for Tyson Corio. He is now 3 for 3 with a pair of doubles. They had the single, the double in the second, and he is seeing it awfully well as Tyson Corio. This pitch is fouled away, out of play by Ryan Brome. Brome 2 for 2 today with a couple of singles. Does have an RBI. He was able to drive in Tyson Corio in the second. And it's 7-0 Crawdads after Tejero was able to score. The 0-1 pitch, and this is a breaking ball that comes inside and misses. The count 1-1, having to shuffle away was Brome. It'll be interesting to see how the Crawdads not just get through the latter portions of this game when that does eventually roll around, but on the road against some very stiff competition coming up. This pitch misses in the dirt, and the count 2-1. They had a similar scenario when they had to play the West Coast Kings up in Napa, and then immediately had to go back into CCL play. 2-1 pitch, and this is a fastball that misses out. The count 3-1. Crawdads scored 5 in the bottom of the first, 1 in the second, and 1 in the third. 3-1 pitch, and this is hit high and deep to right field. Moving back on it is Whitaker, and he has to watch that clear the fence, kiss that baby goodbye. A 2-run jack for Ryan Brome. He is now 3 for 3 today. It is now 9-0. And Wyborn just laboring out there on the mound. These Crawdads feasting on some mistake pitches. And here comes Kai Moody. Kai Moody, 1 for 2. He's been on base twice, though. Pitch here to Moody. He goes right after it, but hits this hard, but foul down the left field line. Just a little out in front of it was Kai. Moody, very familiar with manager Brant Cummings. First summer as a Crawdad, the 0-1 pitch, and this misses, and the count 1-1, but played for manager Cummings 5 years ago in 2017. And the 1-1 pitch. It's a breaking ball that Wyborn cannot locate and misses high and outside, and the count 2-1. So a big lead right now for the Crawdads, 9-0, and Moody just out in front here. He wanted to go yard and join in on the party, but that is well foul. And the count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2 pitch to Moody. Moody sees this well, but just the timing a little off there. Tried to square up a breaking ball to Moody, but it lands foul. Just a bit out in front is Kai right now. Try to calculate for the spin and the decrease in velocity here from Wyborn as Wyborn misses high and away, and the count runs full 3-2, and I think that can be a really tough thing for some of these Crawdads hitters when they have to go against some pitchers who don't throw as hard as they're used to seeing every day in the CCL. The payoff pitch, and Moody, another deep foul ball that hits a big old tree out there past the fence. We'll see another payoff pitch here to Kai. He's right on it. Just got to try to stay back. The 3-2. Moody swings, hits this very high, but that's going to be caught by Zem just behind the first base bag for out number 3. So a good at-bat by Kai Moody, just wasn't able to connect there on that last pitch. The Crawdads are able to tack on 3. They get an RBI double from Tyson Corio, then a big 2-run blast from Ryan Brome. So it is 9-0, top of the 4th, with the Crawdads in the lead. And more baseball from Danville, California when we return here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Top of the 4th inning, Crawdads lead 9-0 against the California Bees, who are visiting today here at Monte Vista High School. And Fong hits this high into left field. And the play is made on it by Jack Ben Shoshan for out number 1. It's Logan Azim coming up to the plate now, and then Lucas Herrera, the number 2 hitter. Chris Fong retired there. He's now 0 for 2. And Logan Azim is 0 for 1 so far. He flew out to center. Gabe Tanner still on the mound for the Crawdads. Pitch here misses away. The count 1-0. And a lot of high choppers induced by Gabe Tanner today, as this pitch is hit up in the sky into left center, and getting over there is Casey Cummings for out number 2. Oh, here comes Lucas Herrera, who's 0 for 1. One of those many balls put in play that was straight at Jude Putz. He's had some hard hit balls to deal with as Putz is short, as this is a fastball that misses low and in. The count 1-0. Just one hit so far for the Bees, as opposed to the 12 put up by the Dads. And here's a foul tip back into the backstop, and the count even at 1-1. Tanner fires and misses in with a breaking ball. Count 2-1. Working quickly here is Tanner, and this pitch is hit hard over to third. Moody has to block it, then come up with it and throw over to first for out number 3. Nice stick-to-itiveness there by Kai Moody over at third base, and it is still 9-0. Another 1-2-3 inning for Gabe Tanner on the mound. Bottom of the 4th, when we return, it's going to be Tiers, Cummings, and Barnhart here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Bottom of the 4th inning, new pitcher on the mound for the California Bees. It's Fernando Duenas, 5'11" righty. Who's a sophomore over at Contra Costa College. 3-2 so far this summer with the Cal Bees. 4.95 ERA. This is his 9th appearance. Does have 3 starts as well. He's thrown just 1 out under 33 innings, has 22 punch-outs, 15 walks, has given up 38 hits. His last game was against the Seagulls. That was on July the 6th, and that was actually the last game for the Bees. Yesterday, they were in action, but they dropped a very close game against the Seagulls, 7-6. And Duenas actually got the decision there. It was a loss. He threw an inning and a third, gave up a run, an earned run, so he gave up the winning run, did Duenas. Did give up 2 hits, walked 2, struck out 1, faced 10. So here is Kavara's Tiers. Tiers is 2 for 2. Had a 2 RBI double in the first and then a hit in the second. Come around to score once has Kavara's. And Kavara's Tiers is one of those Crawdads who's trying to get that bat going, find some consistency up there, and lets a pitch go by for ball number 1 here that misses low. But I always wonder if this helps going against some lower velo as he swings At a breaking ball here and misses, and the count 1-1. But saw a lot of guys, Crawdads Tears being one of them, who just went off against the West Coast Kings. Similar competition here against the California Bees. The 1-1 pitch, and this is a curveball that's in there. Nice curveball from Duenas. Shaking off his catcher, Zapata, is Duenas. And this pitch is a chopper. Hit down the first base line. Crawdads Tears going to try to beat it out, but he does not. 1-3 is the out there of Crawdads Tears. He was hustling down the line. Duenas had a little trouble getting to it, but once he did, he was able to make an easy underhanded flip over to his M at first for out number 1. Pitch from Duenas in there. Count 0-1 to Casey Cummings. 1 for 1. Had a walk in the second. Big swing and a miss, and Duenas showing off the heater there. Foul tipped actually into the glove of Zapata. Signaled by Tony Marcocha. The home plate umpire. The count 0-2 to Cummings. Crawdads lead 9-0 here, and Cummings gets on top of this one, but chops it over to the second baseman, who makes a beautiful running throw over to first. Giorso, just a really nice play there, and there's 2 away. Wyborn, today's starter, was able to go 3 innings, but he did surrender 9 runs, gave up 12 hits. Wasn't able to strike anybody out. This one's in there right around the knees. To Joe Barnhart, who's 1 for 2, had a home run in the first. This one bounces up to Zapata. Count 1-1. Duenas fires, and Barnhart fouls this. Barnhart was able to hit a huge home run earlier. Very strong is Joe, but he's down 1-2 here. Duenas looking for the punch out and tries going outside there. Maybe nibbling a little bit was Duenas. And the count 2-2. 2-2 pitch, and this misses low. A couple of misses back-to-back there from Duenas, and the count runs full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Duenas just trying to put up the first clean inning for the Bees. Crawdads scored 5 in the first, 1 in the second, 3 last inning, and this pitch misses low. So a 4th batter will come to the plate for the Crawdads. It's going to be Zach Tejero as Barnhart draws the walk. Tejero still looking for his first AB here. He's been on base twice, was hit in the first, and then it's a breaking ball they hit him. It wasn't a fastball. And then he walked in the second, later came around to score. Pitch here to Tejero, misses low, and the count 1-0. Tejero not catching today. He's a designated hitter. Able to stay engaged at the plate. 1-0 pitch, and this misses. And the count 2-0. Quick pickoff move over to first. Nice move by Duenas. Looked like he was about to nod his catcher and kind of tell him, no, I want to go to another sign, and then quickly spun and fired over to first, and he'll do it again here. But back in safely for the second time is Barnhart. And the 2-0 to Tejero. Tejero swings, but hits this high in the sky, and it ends up out of play, foul. Off to the left, and the count 2 balls and a strike. Another throw over to first, and that one actually hit Barnhart. Oh, Barnhart. Oh, and they're going to say a balk. So actually, Constantine Bartlett called a balk on Duenas. Barnhart's over at second. That was risky, though, because that throw was spiked. Count 2-1, and now after the balk, Duenas steps off, and he wants to talk to Zapata. So maybe the wire's getting crossed here between the battery of Duenas and Zapata for the Bees. Those road games that the Crawdads have coming up, Friday, July 8th, so tomorrow 6 p.m. in Santa Barbara, then Saturday at 6 p.m., also in Santa Barbara, then 1 p.m. afternoon game against San Luis Obispo. We'll have all those games for you here. This pitch misses in, and the count 3-1. Tejero's already walked once today. He's in a great hitter's count here. 3 balls, a strike, a runner at second. That is Barnhart, and there's 2 away. 9-0 lead for the Dads. Tejero swings, hits this down the first base line, but it just curls foul. Took a couple of skips there, and the count 3-2. Oh, even though no runs have scored yet this half inning, it's been a long one. A lot of pauses. Payoff pitch to Tejero, and this misses away and high. Tejero has his second walk this afternoon. There are now runners at first and second, both out there with catcher's legs as well. So not a lot of speed on the base paths, but a runner in scoring position. That's Barnhart. Tejero now at first, and here's Jude Putz, who has been a defensive wizard so far this afternoon, but he is 0 for 2 in the box. First pitch to the righty Putz, and he bangs this over to the left field side. That does land, and they're going to wave home Barnhart. He will score. Throw is cut off by the third baseman, Herrera. And Putz now 1 for 3 and gets an RBI there, and it's now 10-0 Crawdads. So here's Jack Ben Shoshan. 2 runners on. Barnhart just coming in to score. And Ben Shoshan takes a breaking ball here for a strike. The count 0-1. It is 10-0 Crawdads. This is reminiscent of that Kings game, although the Kings did have a lead early in that game up in Napa. Then the Crawdads woke up. The 0-1 pitch, this misses low. The count 1-1. That was a game that the Crawdads ended up winning by 24. It was 28-4. That was the final score. Duenas just looking to find the zone. And there's the breaking ball that does find the zone. Good curveball there from Duenas. That count 1-2. Pitch on the way to Jack Ben Shoshan, and nearly getting away from the catcher Zapata, that ball, but was able to get it. The count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes to Jack Ben Shoshan, who had a huge home run yesterday. 1 for 3 today. Got things started on a positive note for the Crawdads leading off. In the bottom of the first with a hit. 2-2 pitch. He hits this. Takes a couple of bounces over to the shortstop Lamar, who feeds it over to second for the 3rd out. But the Crawdads score a run. It is now 10-0. Top of the 5th. The Bees will be up to bat. It'll be 5, 6, and 7. Tyson Wallace, Frank Zapata, and Connor McWard when we return here on the Crawdads streaming network. Nothing Crawdads, top of the 5th. Gabe Tanner still on the mound. It's been pretty easy for him so far, just giving up 1 hit. It's Tyson Wallace, Frank Zapata, and Connor McWard, 5, 6, and 7 for the Bees. Wallace is 1 for 1. He's got that lone hit today for the Bees. As the righty Tanner back on the bump. And here it is. That's in there. Nice pitch from Gabe Tanner. They'll start that middle, and then it ends up on the outside edge. The count 0-1 to the right-handed bat of Wallace. Now looking for pitch on the inner half that bounces up to the catcher Barnhart. Count even at 1-1. Different look today for the Crawdads in the lineup and defensively. No Ellis, no King, no Schmidt. This pitch bounces up to Barnhart. Brome, who's usually out on the left, is over at first. Orio's at second, though. That's pretty regular. Tears in right. This pitch is hit up the middle, and now 2 for 2. Is Tyson Wallace, and the Bees have their second hit. So Tyson Wallace having a good day. And here comes Frank Zapata. Zapata 0 for 1. That ball was hit very hard on the ground by Wallace moments ago. Missing here is Tanner. Zapata, the catcher today for the Bees. 1-0 pitch. This misses high and in. Close shave there. 2 balls, no strikes. Two-0 pitch, and that misses. Gabe Tanner really falling behind for what seems like the first time all day. Don't think he's been in a 3-0 count. 3-0 pitch, and that's called a strike. Late strike call there from Tony Marcocha. Zapata thought he had a walk. That would have given the Bees a runner in scoring position. And move back over to first. Back in safely is Tyson Wallace. But in a good count here is Frank Zapata. 3-1 pitch from Tanner. This misses outside. Now there's 2 runners on. So after giving up the single to Wallace, Zapata draws the walk. And the Bees, now in the 5th inning, have a runner in scoring position. Runners on first and second. And here comes the number 7 man, the left fielder Connor McWard, who's 0 for 1 today. This pitch is hit hard. Little looper into right, and the Cal Bees are going to try to score here. They will get their first run of the day. It is now 10-1 Crawdads. An RBI single there for Connor McWard, able to drive in Tyson Wallace. There are now runners at the corners. Zapata moves up to third. And here comes Keith Whittaker, the right fielder, who's 0 for 1. Still nobody out. Pitch here from Tanner, misses away, and this is one of the things that has happened to Tanner a few times this summer where it seems like he's rolling, and then there's an inning where sometimes he just can't locate the way he wants to, as this pitch is fouled out of play past the bullpen of the Bees, but that's kind of been the MO this summer for Gabe Tanner. When he's on, he is on, but trying to avoid a big damaging inning here is Gabe Tanner out on the mound. Bunt is shown. It's a good one. It does get down. Coming on to get it is Kai Moody from third, and he's able to throw over to first for 1. But the sacrifice works, and the Bees employing a little small ball there to get their second run of the day. It is now 10-2. McWard now at second. Zapata able to score on a nice sacrifice. Pitch here is fouled back into the backstop by DJ Giorso. And the count 0-1. A 1 pitch, that hits the zone. The count 0-2. So the Bees finally finding some success against Gabe Tanner here in the top of the 5th. Have their first 2 runs of the ball game. It's 10-2 Crawdads. Bees looking to add on some more with a runner in scoring position over at second. A big swing and a miss, and then actually foul tipped. Applying the tag there was Barnhart. Tried to fool Tony Marcocha into saying that that ball wasn't tipped, and I caught it after the swing on a pitch in the dirt. The 0-2 pitch, this misses in the dirt. Not going after it is Giorso. The count, a ball and 2 strikes. Giorso took a huge rip 2 pitches ago, barely able to make foul contact to stay alive. Setting up outside is Barnhart, and this pitch misses in, and it actually hits Giorso. Another runner on for the Cal Bees. And the lineup card flips over. It's Amias Lamar now at the plate. Lamar 0 for 2. And here comes manager Brant Cummings out to the mound to go have some words with his starter, Gabe Tanner. Try to settle him down a bit here. This has been a tough inning for Gabe. Surrendered 2 runs, just has 1 out right now and has a couple of runners on to deal with. Giorso over at first. McWard at second. Bees still just sitting on 3 hits, but they've gotten 2 of them this half inning. Looking back to second is Tanner. Now he fires. This is chopped over to the shortstop position. Putz feeds it over to second for 1. Corio the relay over to first. Double play. A nice defense there by the infield for the Crawdads, and Gabe Tanner able to get out of it with a double play there. But the Bees do score 2. It is now 10-2 Crawdads. Bottom of the 5th when we return here on the Crawdads streaming network. Bottom of the 5th inning, it's 10-2 Crawdads. Still Duenas on the mound. Crawdads with 10 runs on 13 hits. The Bees just scoring 2 runs in the top of the 5th. They have 3 hits now. And it's Corio, Brome, and Moody. So 2, 3, and 4. And here's the switch hitting Tyson Corio, who's now going to take his hacks lefty against the righty Duenas. And the pitch to Corio. There's a big, slow curveball in there for a strike. Count 0-1. Corio's going to have to be mindful of that. A 1 pitch, and this is a breaking ball. It's hit on the ground over to the first baseman, Azem, who just takes it to the bag himself. Pitcher Duenas was covering, but that's 1 out now here in the bottom of the 5th. Oh, the perfect day broken up there for Tyson Corio. He's now 3 for 4, but Ryan Brome, who's 3 for 3. And the first pitch to Brome misses away, and the count 1-0. Brome had a single in the first and an RBI single in the second, and big 2 RBI home run in the third. 1-0 pitch to Brome, and Brome, as Brome usually does not swing at a bad pitch, low, and the count 2-0. How do you get Ryan Brome out? Well, you're going to have to induce some contact and hope that it's weak. That's usually the solution. He is not going to strike out a whole ton. The 2-0 pitch, and he lines this back up the box. Takes a couple of bounces up there all the way to Wallace in center, and Brome's at first. Brome is now 4 for 4 this afternoon. Guess you could say he's seeing the ball well. And here comes Kai Moody. Kai Moody 1 for 3. Moody just making his second appearance so far this summer for the Dads, but a welcome addition. And Moody hits this high into center, but it'll hang up. And Wallace has it for out number 2. Trying to give it a ride there was Kai Moody, but just a little bit under that ball. And here comes Kavares Tears. Moody now 1 for 4. He's now 2 for 8 on the season. So the batting average not changing for Kai. And here is Kavares Tears, who is 2 for 3. 2 RBI double in the first. Was able to reach base in the second. Unfortunately for Tears and the Crawdads, he was stranded over at second. Pitch here to Kavares, and he takes low. It's in the dirt. And a count 1-0. Our 2 away, though, here. Duenas doing a pretty good job this half inning. Brome just off of first. The 1-0 pitch to Kavares Tears, and he takes low once again. Count 2 balls, no strikes. The pitch to Tears. Tears hits this hard, but a leaping spear made by Giorso just off of second. And that is a huge defensive play for the Cal Bees. And they finally put up a half inning where they don't give up any runs. So a good job by Duenas on the mound and a great leaping catch made there by DJ, the second baseman. So it is still 10-2. Tough way to go down there for Kavares Tears, who hit that awfully hard. But it's still an 8-run lead. Top of the 6th when we return here. Crawdads going to have a new pitcher. See who it is on the Crawdads streaming network. Top of the 6th, new pitcher for the Crawdads. Gabe Tanner's day is done. Was able to go 5 innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, walked 2, didn't strike anybody out, but got a whole lot of ground balls, especially in the direction of Jude Putz. The new pitcher, Ryan Fleming, comes in 2-0 with a 3.11 ERA, and he hits the outer portion of the plate there for strike number 1. This is his 5th appearance, his first out of the bullpen. He's thrown 17 and a third innings, 15 strikeouts, 8 walks. This pitch, this is a slider that bounces up to Barnhart. It's Chris Fung, then Logan Azam, and Lucas Herrera, and I think we're going to have a guest with us up here in the booth. It's going to be Gabe Tanner, today's starter, as the 1-1 pitch comes in, and this is hit very hard, and it ends up in the bullpen of the Crawdads. The count 1-2. Fleming's last appearance was on July 1st against the Potters. That was an 8-6 victory for the Crawdads. 1-2 pitch, and this is hit high into shallow left center. Parking under it is Cummings, and he has it for out number 1. Oh, Gabe, welcome in. Nice start today, buddy.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
5 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs. Oh, got a lot of first pitch swinging, a lot of ground balls,
I think that was their mentality today.
You think they were trying to ambush you?
Yeah. No, I definitely think they were swinging first pitch every time.
So here is Logan Azam, the first baseman for the Bees. And the righty Fleming delivers to the lefty first baseman there, high, count 1-0. Were you trying to get a lot of ground balls today? Were you actively thinking about keeping the ball low?
So this is a team that you got to just throw strikes, just fill up the zone. They're going to swing, and if they're not going to put good contact on it, I trust the guys behind me.
Now 1-0 pitch missed high, the count 2-0. Now taking a little trip around the mound is Fleming, but I thought Jude Putz was outstanding over at short for you this afternoon.
Yep, he did really good for me today. Putz.
2-0 pitch, and this is hit very high on the infield.
Talking about Putz.
Putz, we just mentioned him, makes the catch. So pop out there, and there's 2 away. Crawdads lead 10-2. Gabe Tanner in the booth with us, so always good to see Gabe, and it's nice to see him come back and able to get a really good start under your belt, man. I mean, and that puts you positive. You're 3-2 now on the season if everything holds up today.
I think everything will hold up today.
Yeah, so you got a chance to get your 3rd win, as there's a good slider from Fleming for a strike, and the count 0-1, but it is baseball. Anything can happen. They were able to crack you for 2.
Yeah.
And what do you think happened there?
There was just some things that went wrong. I wasn't attacking as hard as I did before. I got ahead of myself, and as you saw, they laid out a bunt down 9.
Yeah, that bunt, that was sneaky.
Yeah.
The 0-2 pitch. And this misses high, so the count 1-2 to Lucas Herrera. But I was a little surprised they did that. But
just getting hits through, that hit through the first base side and then the one through the other side. It was brutal with that.
1-2 pitch is swung on and missed in the dirt. Tag applied there by Barnhart.
Good job, Fleming.
Easy 1-2-3 appearance out of the bullpen for the first inning of work for Ryan Fleming. See how long he stays out. Bottom of the 6th. When we come back, the Crawdads lead by 8. It is 10-2. Gabe Tanner will stay with us in the booth here. More Crawdads baseball when we return on the Crawdads Streaming Network.
I don't know if it's KT.
Bottom of the sixth, Casey Cummings leading things off. Still Duenas on the mound for the Bees. It is 10-2 Crawdads, and the first pitch here from Duenas to Cummings is a breaking ball that hits Cummings, and ouch. I feel like that happens to Cummings pretty often.
Yeah, no, he's a magnet for the chicks too.
I'm sure he's happy you said that. Now Cummings over on first, and Barnhart coming up to the plate. Cummings has walked once, had an RBI single, now hit by a pitch. It's officially 1 for 2. This pitch misses low and away.
Nice job.
Barnhart 1 for 2, but did have a huge home run.
Yeah, Joe's been really good behind the plate today.
Oh, he has. It's been a marked improvement over the last few times he's caught. It's been good as this ball's hit over to the third baseman, Herrera, and throw to second for 1. And then the relay to first is off the bag. A very aggressive path to the base there by Casey Cummings.
I think he was safe, honestly.
He broke that thing up, though.
I mean, a two-man crew out here. It's hard.
Yeah, it's a little different when it's not CCL competition because you don't get that third umpire, so you get the one behind the plate and then the other one out on the bases. That's Constantine Bartlett, who's out there on the bases.
Love that guy. He's a thirsty man.
Very familiar with Constantine Bartlett. Oh, here is Zach Tejero, who goes after the pitch he sees. The first one from Duenas and hits this foul down the left field line. It lands foul, and the count 0-1. So, Barnhart caught for you. I think you've worked now with every catcher. Have you been able to pitch to McKenna yet?
I haven't.
Okay, so McKenna's the one you haven't. What's the difference between maybe pitching to Barnhart as opposed to Tejero, or whether you've been in the bullpen with McKenna? What's all that like? And I know Donnelly's caught a little bit too.
Yeah, so I would say Barnhart's more of like a stocky guy instead of Zach Tejero. But, I love Zach because he preaches sticking corners and sticking balls, and that's like exactly what pitchers love. Getting those like outside corner strikes, those borderline strikes, especially bringing them in, framing that stuff, and that's a pitcher's dream right there. If you have a catcher that's on your side doing that stuff, going over and, above and beyond to make the strike zone even bigger. But Joe has gotten better. He's, as you've seen, his hitting, a lot of his stuff has gotten better.
His pitch misses in, the count 2-1. And, yeah, I think it was just maybe a comfort thing for Joe for a little bit.
For sure.
Now he's
comfortable with the guys, yeah.
Yeah, he looks locked in. And how much of that goes into it, that relationship between the guys who are thrown out there and the catcher who's got to manage so much stuff out on the field?
Baseball's such a mental game, especially being a pitcher and a catcher. You have so much control over the game. I mean, it's hard to think about a lot of things. But, you try to zone in and think about, one thing, trying to perfect this thing, and perfection is, somewhat not tangible sometimes.
Now you wanna aim for perfection,
yeah,
in hopes chase perfection in hopes of catching excellence. Mm-hmm. But the count 3-1 here to Tejero. Let's see what Zach, who's DHing today, does as a pickoff move over to first, and I'm sure Zach's a little bit happy he's getting a break behind the plate today.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to get into the squat, but I think any of these catchers would have loved catching for you. You were very effective.
Thank you.
3-1 pitch to Tejero. This misses in, and he is walked. So Crawdads with a couple of runners on base. The lead runner is Barnhart, who moves into scoring position over at second. Now Tejero at first, and here's Jude Putz, who finally backed up some of that stellar defense. He was 0 for 2, and then he had an RBI single in his last at-bat. And he's one of those guys who it was kind of tough for him at the start of the summer, and now he looks so smooth out there at short.
He does. I think he is more focused on coming in the ball and, having control with his steps in every motion.
This pitch is a little Texas leaguer that'll get down into right center, and that should. Oh, I thought they were going to send Barnhart, but
no,
They're going to play station to station here, so the bases are loaded. Good hit there by Jude Putz. He's now 2 for 4.
Yeah, with the, when you have a lead, it's kind of courtesy.
Yeah.
In a way, you don't want them to be, stealing bases when you're down, 24 runs, saying all that.
Similar to that West Coast Kings game. No, I agree.
I'm actually bummed that you guys didn't announce that game. That would have been a really fun game to watch.
Unfortunately, we had no power there.
Yeah.
So, that game, it got out of hand, but as Jack Ben Shoshan steps in, but it wasn't called just because of the runs. We were running out of daylight.
Yeah. And at that point, the third baseman's going to pitch, the shortstop playing left field.
Yeah, you can get all those wacky changes that happen in a 24-run ball game. But, they had no lights. There was no power. So
my favorite moment was I think we were up 24 or like 22, and bases were loaded. And, I think it was the shortstop. The backup shortstop came in to throw, and KT just sees a meatball down the plate, and he just takes it deep to right field.
Yeah, that was a game where he had that grand slam. He had 2 home runs.
He had 2 home runs.
One of them was a grand salami.
Yeah, we didn't even congratulate him when he got in the dugout.
I saw you guys give him the silent treatment as Ben Shoshan takes low here. The count 1-2. Just 1 out, but the Crawdads have the bases loaded. 8-run ball game, 10-2 Crawdads over the California Bees here in the bottom of the 6th. Gabe Tanner in the booth with us. Jack Ben Shoshan ready to see the pitch. Behind the count. 1-2, here it is, and he goes after it. A bit uncharacteristic there from Jack Ben Shoshan. He foul-tipped one of those. And
is that the first strikeout of today?
That is the first strikeout of a Crawdads batter.
How have you been liking the Crawdads baseball announcing, the setup here?
You know what? It's a lot different than the setup that we had out in Moraga.
Yeah,
Moraga was a closed booth, so that crowd mic was very important because it would kind of simulate the feel of the game inside that closed booth. As here's Tyson Corio, and first pitch to Corio misses high, but you know what? I think this is a really good compromise. Not able to be at St. Mary's this summer because they're finally getting underway with that construction on that new stadium they want to build.
I'm very glad about that.
But I thought that field was great.
Oh, it's a beautiful field. It's a beautiful place to play baseball, especially that area of Moraga.
1-0 pitch misses away, and the count 2-0. Yeah, that was a very, very good circumstance for the Crawdads coming back in for their first year in about 5 or 6 years, being a team again. And, that team was a bit up and down, finished the season 500, and this team just has been so hot, especially over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the 2-0, and this is chopped over to the shortstop, Lamar, who has it, gets it over to second, and that's the third out. But we'll hold Gabe over for one more half inning. I'll force him to hang out in the booth as long as he can stand.
I'll go as long as you want me to.
So the Crawdads not able to get anything out of that bases-loaded situation. Unfortunate for the Dads, but they're still up by 8. It's 10-2 Crawdads, top of the 7th. Coming up, we'll see if Ryan Fleming comes out for his second inning of work here on the Crawdads Streaming Network.
Welcome back to Crawdads Baseball with Gabe Tanner Ryan Fleming's still on the mound. I don't want to mess up your name.
No. Well done. Alonda saying Gabe Tanner here. That was great. That was really good. And it is 10-2, 8-run ball game. The Crawdads aren't commanding.
With this team, I think we can get. I think we can chip away. I'm really expecting more out of the guys here. Sorry to say, but
so Wallace up at the plate takes the first pitch for a ball. It's Wallace, then Zapata, and McWard. There is a defensive substitution for the Crawdads. Duroff over at first now for Ryan Brome. So Duroff getting a little game action and a big swing and a miss there. Count 1-1. So you had the really good start today, Gabe. I know that you're not here full time right now because of Cal State East Bay and the way they want to kind of ease you into your off season and everything. As another good pitch there that gets a swing and a miss in the count 1-2. So could you kind of peel the curtain there and how that all works out?
I mean, so at the beginning of the season, I had 74 innings at Chabot, and I kind of wanted to take it easy over the summer because of the work that the innings they put me through, which I loved it. And, I did amazing, and I felt my arm was about rubber at that point. So I kind of decided at the beginning of the summer to tell Coach, hey, is that okay if I do half? I can come back, as I did today, whenever he needs me. If he needs me to pitch, I'm always up for it because I'm still throwing. I'm just on a strict lifting program right now, trying to lose some weight and also gain some muscle. But
replace some of that with some muscle as Fleming was able to get a strikeout of Wallace. Count 1-0 here, and that misses. That strikeout of Wallace put a little dip in the road for him. He was 2 for 2. Now he's 2 for 3. And 2-0 pitch to Zapata. This misses, and Fleming behind 3-0. But, okay, so that's kind of thought process. So this is more getting yourself athletically ready, not so much the pitching baseball side of things, but really want to get those athletic attributes up going into your season.
Also trying to do a lot of cardio.
3-0 pitch is hammered out to left, but that's going to die out there in left field, and it is caught by Jack Ben Shoshan for out number 2. That was hit pretty hard, and ball just kind of died on him.
It's hard to judge it.
Kavara's Tears had one during BP that just sounded and looked like it was destined for the soccer field back there, and it just died at the warning track. And he told Ryan, who was giving him BP pitches, that was a bad ball. They had to get new balls. So there is a pinch hitter now for Connor McWard. It is Trent Bournwell. Check that. Trent Barnwell. I have the lineup card. All the names there.
So are you excited to go down to Santa Barbara?
I am. I think the trip down south last year was a lot more rigorous in a lot of ways. I mean, where did you guys go? We ended up going to Thousand Oaks, to OC, to a lot of different places. This is a lot more of a compact trip.
Cal Lutheran, we played there.
Cal Lutheran, Sparky Anderson Field.
Yeah. And then we played at the Rose Bowl, actually.
Yeah. So right across the way from the Rose Bowl, that's
Jackie
Robinson Memorial Field. That's where the Arroyo Seco Saints play. As this hits the zone, and the count even at 1-1. But yeah, a couple of games in Santa Barbara, which I've never been to that park.
I have not.
So
my sister actually worked as an analytical manager there.
1-1 pitch is swung on in the dirt, and the count 1-2. And I think I want to say Ryan came over from the Foresters this past year. For the Crawdads.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Not Fleming, but Lovato.
Yeah. It's a good ball team.
1-2 pitch and a big swing and a miss there. And that is the top of the 7th. So easy work here for Ryan Fleming. Gets another strikeout. So boxes a couple there. And the bottom of the 7th coming up. It's still an 8-run ball game. 10-2 Crawdads. We'll keep Gabe Tanner here for one last half inning. And then we'll have the 8th and the 9th for you as well here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Bottom of the 7th. Crawdads lead 10-2. Still Duenas on the mound for the Cal Bees. And here's Brian DeRoff, who was inserted defensively for Ryan Brome over at first. He'll stay in the game and get his first at-bat. Ryan Brome had a great day. Ends his day at the plate 4 for 4. So here is Brian DeRoff. First pitch to DeRoff is a good breaking ball for a strike that hits the outside black.
Going off of Brian Duroff, he was a great player for the Chabot Gladiators this year. He had a home run every other game. He hit some screamers. He was just really beneficial for the team.
That last pitch hit over to the second baseman, Giordaso, and he was able to toss on to first. But, Duroff has been rock solid, not just for Chabot, but also for the Crawdads.
Yeah.
Coming into this game, the third best hitter average-wise for the Dads, had a .351 batting average with a couple of home runs, 19 RBIs. He mentioned to me a couple of days ago how locked in he just gets sometimes. It takes him about a week or two, and 100%. Then all of a sudden, he's just on fire.
100%.
Here's Tyson Corio.
He's a different dude on the field.
Check that, Kai Moody. And Moody able to go down and get this one and poke it into left. So Moody is going to dig for 2. The throwback in is going to be offline, so Moody's going to slide in safely over to second. Barnwell out in left now for McWard. Barnwell, that is. Not able to make an accurate throw, but did do a good job of getting it back in. And Moody's over at second. But so you played with DeRoff over at Chabot, and what do you see out of his game? Because I know sometimes people are wondering, defensively, kind of where's his home at? What do you think, Gabe?
I think so. He actually played outfield for us, and I don't think that was a spot, anything over his head. We were kind of worried at a point. I think he would get mixed up sometimes, but I think his home is first base, honestly. He's a good stretch. He'll pick the ball, He eats up ground balls, and he's good over there, and I think that's definitely his home.
Kai Moody now 2 for 5. Here's Kavares Tears, who's 2 for 4 with a 2 RBI double. Has Moody in scoring position. And now time is called and granted by Tony Marcocha behind home plate. So DeRoff, one of those prime examples of a guy who is so good. He's in junior college, and he'll definitely get a look at from
a bunch of
different programs.
Very surprised he didn't get out. I mean, a lot of guys at Chabot didn't get too many chances of getting out. But, some did. John Gazdar, he's going to be a governor. But couple of guys, we have a lot of D1 guys on Chabot, and I think they're going to get out either as of right now or as of next year or whatever they do.
1-0 pitch in there to Tears. Count 1-1. So Tanner, as maybe one of the more experienced guys on the team, what do you see out of some of these younger gentlemen like Kavares Tears?
I think he has power. He has very good power, and I think sometimes he tries to do too much, and he at a point I think he needs to stop thinking and just swing the bat. And whenever he makes contact, we're all just like, wow. Because his last hit was a screamer, but the second baseman got up and caught that. But that was a piece, But no, he's good in the outfield. He'll run when he wants to. But he's a very good ball player.
1-2 pitch coming up to Tears from Duenas. Duenas shaking the leg a little bit. Now he'll fire, and it bounces away from the catcher Zapata. And
did that hit the mic?
Now at third. Now it hit the fencing, so that crowd mic, it picks up so much, but when it hits the backstop, it sounds like it hits the mic. But now on third is Kai Moody after that wild pitch, and the count 2-2 to Tears. But, it's your second summer with the Crawdads. We were so happy to have you back for another summer. You and Zach Tejero returning, so that was cool. Try to keep some of that culture that you guys helped establish last summer here.
Yeah, I saw Ole Iverson on the I was very happy to see him on the – I haven't seen him, though. I don't know what he's doing.
2-2 pitch, chopped over to the second baseman, Giordaso, who just has to fire to first for 1 out. But Kai Moody does come across the plate to score. It is now 11-2.
Do you know anything about Iverson?
Yeah, Ula was going to be down at Cuesta, and I think he was.
Oh, yeah, he's there.
He was supposed to show up this summer. We haven't seen him yet, but he was so effective last summer for you
guys.
guys.
Awesome to have him on the team last year.
He was such a crafty pitcher. A couple of really good pitchers last year. Pitch here misses low and away to Casey Cummings.
I think Cummings is going to go to Chabot.
Is he really?
Yeah, I think so.
Cummings ahead 1-0, getting the start today in center field. Schmidt with the off day, and now time called here by Casey and granted by Marcocha.
Schmidt, yeah, he needs that off day.
Yeah, he's played in nearly every game for the Crawdads this summer, and it's incredible. He's batting at .384.
Yeah.
1-0 pitch comes in high and in. Ooh, watch out there, Casey. You've already been hit once.
Yeah.
And in his last at bat, he was drilled. He's 1 for 2. The count 2-0 to Casey. Here it is, and that hits the zone. It's a nice pitch there from Duenas, and the count 2-1. So, Gabe, you're going to head over to Cal State East Bay, and what are you looking forward to this season, heading into your first season as a Cal State East Bay Pioneer? As this pitch is hit high into center, but that's going to be caught by Wallace. But Gabe will hold you over for a few moments here. What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to being with my former coach, Zach Wallace. He's a pitching coach over at East Bay. He was actually the pitching coach at Chabot, and he developed me in the COVID year more than I've ever been developed, and I'm just very excited to be a Pioneer and pitch for them and do what I can to help out the team.
Well, Gabe, it was a pleasure having you up here. Thank you for joining us as always, and hope to see you make a couple of other really quality starts this summer.
I'll be back. Yeah.
All right. Any final messages for anybody listening or watching?
Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you for keeping up with the dads, and stick with us. I think we're going to do some damage further on the road.
So, thank you, Gabe Tanner. Top of the 8th coming up. Just want to welcome Gabe for joining us up here. It is 11-2 Crawdads, and we'll be right back with more Crawdads baseball when we return here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Top of the 8th, 11-2 Crawdads against the Cal Bees. There is a new man in. It's Nate Oliveira, who's in for Keith Whitaker. Here's the first pitch to the lefty Oliveira, and the righty Fleming authors a strike. The count 0-1. Want to thank Gabe Tanner once again for joining us up here in the booth. Always interesting to get some insight from one of the players as this pitch misses. No, check that. That's a strike. That looked like that was out, but a generous strike call there from Tony Marcocha. The count 0-2. Oliveira hitting .400. No home runs, 2 RBIs, and he strikes out here. So sit him down, Ryan Fleming. That is the 6th strikeout of the summer for Nate Oliveira. Starting off the top of the 8th, the same way he ended the top of the 7th with a strikeout, is Fleming, and here is DJ Giorso, who hits this right back up the middle. And Giorso, who's had a great day defensively, gets himself a hit the second time he's been on base, but now he is 1 for 2, has a walk as well. And here comes Amias Lamar. Lamar 0 for 3. Has hit into a double play today. And the first pitch to Lamar runs in on him, and the count 1-0. Missed a little low as well, right around the black socks that the Cal Bees are wearing. This pitch is hit to right field, but Kavara's Tears right there has it. Round number 2. A loud crack of the bat there, but just a lazy fly ball. And there's 2 away. So there's going to be a pinch hitter for Chris Fong. It's going to be Mitch Nabeta. Fong finishes his day 0 for 3. Nabeta comes in. He's usually a catcher, hitting .240. Does have a double, 3 RBIs, no home runs. Walked 5 times, struck out twice. This will be his 26th plate appearance of the summer for the Cal Bees. So he will be inserted to the designated hitter spot. Giorso over at first. Nabeta in the box, 2 away. Fleming trying to get through his second inning of work here. There's a pitch from Fleming. A good slider that hits the zone. Count 0-1. Fleming has his sign from Barnhart, and he fires. And this is fouled away. Maybe missing where he wanted to strike that on the bat is the pinch hitter, Mitch Nabeta. On deck is Logan Azem. Pending any more pinch hitters. 0-2 pitch, and trying to go to a breaking ball there, but misses high is Fleming. Another count 1-2 with 2 away. The Crawdads with a 9-run lead. It's 11-2. They have 16 hits today. No errors. No errors on the other side either. It's been a very clean game for both teams. Just lopsided on the scoreboard. 2 runs, 4 hits for the Bees. The 1-2 pitch from Fleming just pumps a big old fastball by Mitch Nabeta. Climbing the ladder there. Sent him down Ryan Fleming. Top of the 8th is over. It is still 11-2. The Bees strand Giorso over at first. And the Crawdads will be back up to bat. It'll be Barnhart, Tejero, and Putz when we return here on the Crawdads streaming network. Bottom of the 8th inning, Crawdads lead by 9. It's 11-2, Walnut Creek over the California Bees right now. It's Barnhart, Tejero, and Putz. Still Duenas on the mound for the Bees. Pitch here to Barnhart, and he hits this right over to the shortstop, Lamar. Round number 1, so 1 pitch, 1 out for Fernando Duenas on the mound here in the bottom of the 8th. And here is Zach Tejero. Barnhart now 1 for 4 on the day. Did have that big home run as this pitch bounces, and the count 1-0 to Tejero. Tejero has been on base all 4 times he's come to the plate. He's been able to get on base, but 3 of them have been walks, and 1 of them he was hit by a pitch. So still looking for an at-bat here is Tejero. 1-0 pitch. Tejero goes after this and swings at a pitch that was low and misses, and the count 1-1. Tejero maybe just a little antsy there on an off-speed pitch. Trying to crack a hit in. The 1-1 pitch to Tejero. This misses low, and the count 2 balls and a strike. Some games just getting started now around the rest of the CCL as the 2-1 is low to Tejero, and the count 3 balls and a strike, a count that Tejero's very familiar with today. He's already walked 3 times, has a chance for a 4th, but I'm sure he'd love to get a hit. Sonoma and Healdsburg in the bottom of the 1st right now. In Healdsburg at Recreation Park, it's 0-0. OC Riptide finally starting against the San Luis Obispo Blues as this slider comes in there, and it's a strike, and the count runs full 3-2. That game in the bottom of the 1st, still no score. Scoreless in the bottom of the 1st between the Foresters and the Saints out in Pasadena. 3-2 pitch. This misses low. Tejero has his 4th walk of the afternoon. He has now been on base 5 times. Good eye shown by Tejero today. OBP is going to love that. Lincoln Potters also going to be in an out-of-league game today. They're going to be playing the West Coast Kings. That game is in pregame. That one scheduled to get started at 6:35, so about 15 minutes away from first pitch there. And here comes Jude Putz, who is 2 for 4, has an RBI single. And there's a slider that hits the inside zone. The count 0-1. Nice pitch from Duenas. He seems to be able to use that pitch effectively when he can locate it. 0-1 pitch, and misses low away here, and this does get away momentarily from Zapata, not running from first to Zach Tejero. It is a 9-run ball game. One pitch, and this misses outside. Trying to frame it there was Zapata on a good fast, hard pitch. A good fastball from Duenas shown there, just missed outside. And the count 2 balls and a strike. Duenas doesn't like the first sign, nods in agreement of the second, setting up right down the middle there. And that pitch gets a swing and a miss. That was a pitch down in the dirt. And the count even now, 2-2 to Jude Putz, who's had a very, very productive day, not just at the plate, but defensively. He's had a lot of balls hit at him very hard over at short. And he has made those plays look routine. 1 away, 2-2 pitch to Putz. This misses outside, and now the count runs full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Three-two from Duenas, and foul tipping this into the backstop is no. It looked like that hit off the bat, but it's going to be called a swinging strikeout of Jude Putz. It took a weird path. I definitely think that hit off the bat there, but Putz is out. So there's 2 away. That ball looked like it took a different direction after Jude swung at it. Well, maybe he created an air pocket. But now in scoring position over at second is Zach Tejero with 2 outs. And here's Jack Ben Shoshan. This pitch Good breaker. Count 0-1. Hits one of the quadrants on the outside. To the righty, Jack Ben Shoshan. At risk of walking the sixth batter today was Duenas for this Bees pitching staff, as this is fought off and fouled away out of play over the bleachers, and the count 0-2. Jack Ben Shoshan struck out in the sixth. He's 1 for 5. Did have a hit in the first, came around to score. Crawdads got things started early with 5 runs in the bottom of the first. And the 0-2 to Jack Ben Shoshan, who just stays alive once again, able to make a little bit of contact, jam this one foul. Crawdads can't pick up any ground today with what they do with their result here against the California Bees on the first place Prune Packers, but they can get some help from Sonoma. 0-2 pitch, and this misses a bit high. And the count 1-2. Crawdads just a game back in the loss column behind Healdsburg. Healdsburg 5 losses in the CCL North, and Crawdads with 6. The 1-2 pitch, and this misses away, and Benshow thought about swinging there. He just started getting it back on and thought better of it. So the count even, 2-2. Tejero off of second. Duenas getting ready to set here. Now he does, and fires, and he finds his own there. Jack Ben Shoshan strikes out for the second straight time. And the Crawdads not able to manufacture another run. It is still 11-2. Tejero left stranded at second. So 9-run ball game. Crawdads are in the lead. Top of the 9th coming up. We'll see if Ryan Fleming comes out to close this thing down. More Crawdads baseball. Crawdads looking to get their 18th victory of the summer when we come back here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. So it is still Ryan Fleming on the mound, top of the 9th, 11-2 Crawdads. Fleming has a chance for a 4-inning save today. It is 3, 4, and 5 for the Bees. First pitch here misses. Count 1-0. Logan Azem at the plate. He's 0 for 3. Then it'll be Lucas Herrera and Tyson Wallace. This pitch misses low and in. Looking to paint a fastball there was Ryan Fleming. But he missed. He fired and he missed. So the count 2-0. The 2-0 pitch. And this is hit high and deep to right center. And that ball is gone. It is now 11-3. A big fly for Logan Azem. He is now 1 for 4. The Bees getting their 3rd run of the day in high fashion. A big blast out there to right. Over near the American flag, it is 11-3 Crawdads. A rare mistake there from Ryan Fleming. The lefty is able to go down and get it and hit it out of here. That is Logan's second home run of the summer. Now pinch hitting for Lucas Herrera is going to be Logan Garcia. Dan McDermott emptying out the bucket here, getting as many at-bats for his guys who weren't able to play earlier today as he can. Garcia hitting .294, no home runs and an RBI. He's played in 8 games for the Bees. 5 hits and 17 at-bats. Does have a bit of a strikeout issue, though. The ratio 1-4 between walks and strikeouts. As there's a good slider there from Fleming. Count 0-1. He knew that was going to be a strike as soon as he released it. The 0-1 pitch, and this is hit right over to Jude Putz for the first out. Been a busy day over there for Jude. Here comes Tyson Wallace. 2 for 3, a couple of hits. Struck out once. First pitch misses high and in. Count 1-0. The righty Fleming delivers, and this misses high, but boy, you can hear the pop of the glove. Fleming's throwing some heat right now. 2-0 pitch, and that gets a big swing and a miss. And the count 2-1, able to use a slider low and away there was Fleming. Crawdads looking to lock this thing up. Another big rip and a big miss there from Wallace. And the count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2, and this is chopped, but foul. Back into Barnhart's glove. He picked it off of a bounce. Was a really nice day for baseball today here. Yesterday was beautiful as well. The 2-2 pitch from Fleming, and that is fouled back into the chest armor of Barnhart. Count stays 2-2, so Wallace not going to go down without a fight here. Did strike out in his last at-bat. Struck out swinging. 2-2 pitch, and there's the high heater that got Wallace the last time. And Fleming gets him again. Another strikeout for Ryan Fleming. And here comes Frank Sabata. Oh, Frank Zapata, the last chance for the Bees here as it stands now. First pitch to Zapata is there for a strike, and the count 0-1. 0-1 pitch, that bounces up to Barnhart. Looking for that same slider, just started a little too low. The count even at 1-1. 1-1 pitch, this misses high and in. Not able to locate it was Fleming. 2 balls, a strike, 2 away. Fleming just looking for the last out here. This pitch in there. Count 2-2, so Fleming just a strike away. Two pitch misses low. The count runs full. Fleming looking for the last out here. The 3-2 pitch, and that's in there for a strike. And that is how today's game ends. Ryan Fleming able to get a 4-inning save. Comes in to relieve Gabe Tanner, today's winner. Tanner able to go 5 innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 2 walks, no strikeouts. So he is the winner. The loser is Michael Wyborn. 3 innings, 12 hits, 9 runs, all earned, 2 walks, no strikeouts. He faced 22. Game started at 4:10, ends at 6:33. The final time, 2 hours and 23 minutes. The Crawdads improved their record to 18-8, still 11-6 in league play. The Bees fall to 6-8 themselves. The final line score, 11 runs on 18 hits for the Crawdads. 3 runs on 5 hits for the visiting Cal Bees. No errors for either team, so a really clean game, although it was a lopsided one. But a good job by the Crawdads taking care of business this afternoon. They are now on a new winning streak after getting the last one up to 7. They've now won 2 in a row. And Gabe Tanner gets his 3rd win of the year. He is now 3-2. And in his bullpen appearance, Ryan Fleming now up to 22 strikeouts this summer, and he also records his first save of the summer. So a very good day all around. Barnhart had a huge home run. Brome had a big 2-run home run, but the bats were out today for the Crawdads, and there was a lot of fight in the Cal Bees. They just couldn't crack the scoreboard as many times as I'm sure they wanted to today, but they did fight quite a bit. Giorso was such a great player for them out at second, Lamar at short. I mean, they did really well, and that's a credit to them and the Crawdads for having a really clean game, no errors, and even though it was an 11-3 ball game, the Crawdads win by 8. It was one where both teams were really locked in, and at the end of the day, just maybe a little bit of an experience differential between the two squads. The Crawdads will be back on the Walnut Creek Crawdads streaming network at 6 p.m. Friday, July 8th. That's tomorrow from Pershing Park. The Crawdads are going to play the first of 2 in a row against the Foresters, and Saturday, July 9th, also at 6 p.m. against the Foresters, and then against the Blues, the San Luis Obispo Blues, at Sinsheimer Park at 1 p.m. on Sunday. So 3 in a row on the road down south for the Crawdads. Then they'll be back in CCL North play Tuesday and Wednesday, the 12th of July and then the 13th of July, respectively. Both those games against the Mudcats at 5 p.m. from Vanden High. And then on the road once again, the Crawdads at the Packers, Thursday, July 14th, 6 p.m. at Recreation Park. So a long road stretch coming up for the Dads, and then they do finally get a home game once again against the Potters, Friday, July 15th at 4. But they win today. That's 2 in a row for the Dads. They win 11-3. They're starting a new winning streak, and they're going to hope that all the momentum they've gained over the past 2 days, they can take down with them down to Santa Barbara, California. Want to update everybody on what's going on around the CCL right now. Healdsburg has a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the 3rd at Recreation Park against the Sonoma Stompers, but Sonoma is always game to come back. They were down 1-0 yesterday, and they ended up winning that game 10-3. But Healdsburg in the lead right now. Healdsburg in first place in the CCL North. Top of the 2nd at Sinsheimer Park. It is 0-0 between the OC Riptide and the San Luis Obispo Blues. The Arroyo Seco Saints on top 3-0 against the first place Southern team, Santa Barbara Foresters, the team that the Crawdads will see for 2 straight coming up over the next 2 days. That's in the top of the 2nd in Pasadena. And still waiting for first pitch are the Potters and the West Coast Kings. So for Gabe Tanner, I'm Alon to say, once again, the Crawdads win today 11-3. Thank you, everybody, for letting us join you and be in your home today on the Walnut Creek Crawdads streaming network. And I just want to remind everybody to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a Crawdads game. We'll see everybody tomorrow from Santa Barbara. Have a good night.